Education, Michael Gray.
The members will attend.
Mr. President, the mayors, town administrators, and municipal leaders.
Where's Charlie? Is he?
Mr. President, the cabinet members and directors of the executive departments and quasi-public agencies.
The cabinet members and directors of the executive departments and quasi-public agencies.
Mr. President, the First Lady of the State of Rhode Island, Mrs. Susan McKee, and daughter Kara McKee.
The members will attend.
Of the State of Rhode Island, James A. Diuza.
The members will attend.
Mr. President, the Honorable Attorney General of the State of Rhode Island, Peter F. Nerona. Mr. President, the Honorable Secretary of State for the State of Rhode Island, Greg M. Amori. Mr. President, the Honorable Governor of the State of Rhode Island, Daniel J. McKee.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce the 46th Governor of the State of Rhode Island, His Excellency Daniel J. McKee.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, members of the legislature, general officers, Chief Justice, members of the judiciary, municipal leaders, and my cabinet, good evening. Tonight, I want to speak directly to my fellow Rhode Islanders who share a love for our state, a deep pride in their communities, and a passion for making Rhode Island better every single day. In 2025, I'm asking for your help to accelerate the progress we've made together. I know I talk a lot about teamwork. In fact, I don't think I've ever stood here in this chamber without talking about what it means to be a team and why that matters to the future of our state. Here's what else I know. Rhode Island is a team with a story to tell. It's a story that's full of pride, and it's one we're continuing to write every day. Last year alone, Rhode Island's labor force reached its highest level on record, and we had more jobs in our state than ever before. We continue to lead the nation by launching the largest offshore wind procurement in New England's history. And Rhode Island was a top 10 state for quality of life. We are the third best state for women's health and reproductive care. And first in the nation for being safe, welcoming place for our LGBTQ community. As governor, no matter what happens in Washington, I'm committed to protecting that progress. Thank you. As I stand here tonight, I can say with confidence that our state is full of progress and promise. And because of the work we've done together, we are moving in the right direction. In the year ahead, as one team, we will protect the progress we've made and pursue all the promise that lies ahead. I want everyone in this great state of ours to see themselves in Rhode Island's story. No matter who you are, where you live, what you believe, or who you voted for. And that last piece is important. We just had a national election, and next week, a new presidential administration will come into office. As governor, here's how I see it. In my office, I have a big round table where I bring people together to meet about the issues impacting our state. There are 10 chairs around the table. If those chairs were filled with Rhode Islanders based on the results of the presidential election, you'd have about 6 people at the table who were not happy with the results, and 4 who are pleased. As governor, I need everyone at the table to pull up a chair and work with us to accelerate Rhode Island's progress. Tonight, I'm asking for your help to make that happen. To accelerate our progress and pursue the promise that lies ahead for Rhode Island, we're going to need a plan. Fortunately, we have one. Not just for the year ahead, but a plan that takes us through the next decade, It's called Rhode Island 2030. This plan isn't about a single budget or a new initiative. It's a record of projects we've put in the pipeline and a guide for how we'll accelerate the progress in years to come. We use feedback directly from Rhode Islanders to create this working document, and it continues to evolve as Rhode Island evolves. Tonight, we're releasing the 3rd draft, the latest update on Rhode Island 2030. This plan has helped move our state in the right direction on strengthening K-12 education, creating a healthier Rhode Island, especially for our seniors and veterans, building a road to prosperity with a focus on housing and our economy, and advancing infrastructure and clean energy. Right now, you can go to Rhode Island RI2030.com. This is a nice little brochure that will be available to everyone in the state of Rhode Island when they go to that site, to read the plan and share your ideas with us. Having a long-term plan for our state is important, especially now. Over the next 5 years, state revenues are expected to grow 2.5% each year, thanks to our strategic investments and strong economy. That's good news. During the same time, state spending is expected to increase at 3.7% per year. That creates a math problem that must be solved. As we return to a pre-pandemic fiscal environment, we must take steps to right-size government while preserving programs that improve educational outcomes, raise incomes, and make our residents healthier. 3 pillars in the Rhode Island 2030 plan. Later this week, I will submit a budget that achieves this balance. My budget will provide a roadmap to close an approximately $250 million deficit without any broad-based tax increases. This is the 5th budget I'll submit without a single broad-based tax increase. And across these 5 budgets, we've delivered hundreds of millions of dollars in tax relief for Rhode Island families and businesses. This budget will not just protect Rhode Island's progress, it will protect the taxpayers of our state. It's the people in Rhode Island who make our story special. Tonight, I want to acknowledge someone who has been a big part of Rhode Island's story for many years, Adjutant General Chris Callahan. Where is Chris? Where are you? We didn't even give him a seat. Look. We didn't even give the general a seat. He told me if this goes more than an hour, he's out the door. After nearly a decade of leading the Rhode Island National Guard, General Callahan. General, your steadfast leadership has helped guide our state through many challenges. But the thing I remember most, besides you jumping through the roof at the Army-Navy game when they had the grow line stand, the thing I remember most about the General's leadership is that you are always there for the men and women you lead. We are forever grateful for your service to our nation and to the people of Rhode Island. General, we truly cannot thank you enough. We are fortunate to have many leaders in state government who step up when we need them most. Leaders like DHS Director Kim Brito, Health Source Rhode Island Director Lindsay Lang, DOA Director Jonathan Warmer, and Chief Digital Officer Brian Tardif. We are all well aware of the cyber breach on Rhode Island bridges. But together, this team is helping us navigate the data breach that impacted Rhode Island just about a month ago. Unfortunately, cyber attacks are becoming more and more common across government and the private sector. Here in Rhode Island, when faced with this challenge, we came together to help people through offering good customer service and connecting residents to their benefits. And that is what we'll continue to do. As far as the data breach goes, we're going to follow the facts and hold the right people accountable. I want to thank everyone, the community partners, insurance providers, state agency staff, and so many others who helped us with this work. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Lindsay. Over the past 4 years, we've started writing a new story for Rhode Island and began flipping the script on old stories that have been told over and over and over again for years. Our economy no longer consistently lags behind our neighbors. In the third quarter last year, our state's GDP grew by 3.6%, outpacing New England and the U.S. After years of being told we couldn't, Rhode Island is beginning to close the gap with Massachusetts when it comes to education. Our flagship education initiative, Learn 365 RI, is driving progress in and out of the classroom. It's an initiative that seeks to improve math and reading scores and boost student attendance. It's all about helping your child reach their fullest potential. Over the past 3 years, our team of school leaders, teachers, support professionals, and community partners have helped our students reduce the RICAS English Language Arts gap with Massachusetts by 38%. In math, we reduced the gap by 15%. That's progress. That's progress. But in order to reach our 2030 goals, we must accelerate it. A few months ago, I was in Jamestown at Melrose Elementary School, where I met Principal Beth Roman and students Opal and Paul, who are here tonight. Last year, Opal and Paul's third grade class achieved 100% proficiency in math on the RICAS scores. That's right, 100%. I don't think it's a coincidence that Melrose also had the lowest chronic absenteeism rate of any school in the state. Congratulations. Let's give Opal, Paul, Principal Roman, and everyone at Melrose School a big round of applause. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Learn 365 RI. Learn 365 RI is having an impact not just in Jamestown, but statewide. Thanks to our nationally recognized Attendance Matters campaign, in 1 year, Rhode Island achieved over 244,000 fewer student absences and added approximately 1.3 million hours of student learning time. We have an example right here tonight. Ruth, a 4th grader at Asa Mesa Elementary School in Providence, with perfect attendance and reading and math scores that exceed expectation. She's here tonight with her principal, Cassandra Henderson. Where are you? Where are you? Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Thank you. Thank you. Asa Mesa is the only elementary school in the state to go from being a 1-star to a 3-star school in 2024. I want to thank the teachers. Yeah, give them a round of applause, especially from Providence. I want to thank the teachers and the students, the families and staff for your commitment to accelerating that progress. Providence also celebrated their first Blue Ribbon Elementary School in history, Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School. Now I get a little plug here for my town of Cumberland. MLK, along with Garvin Memorial Elementary in Cumberland and Soams Elementary in Barrington, were 3 of only 356 schools selected for this esteemed award out of more than 115,000 schools nationwide. MLK Principal Kristen Lucier is in the gallery tonight. And Alexis Lamb, leader of the Providence Parent Advisory Council and mother of an MLK student. I want to thank you both for your commitment to our Providence schools. One thing is clear. Better attendance means more learning time. And more learning time means better student outcomes, helping us close achievement gaps with Massachusetts. Each day, I track that progress by checking our online student attendance leaderboard. Every school's listed. I'm asking families and parents to use the online dashboard to track the progress at your child's school. And if your child is healthy enough, they should be in school. If they're feeling well, they should be in school. Right? Right, guys? Yes. In every home, every day, learning matters. And to make that idea a reality, we partnered with municipal leaders to build community learning centers for students and families across Rhode Island. These state-of-the-art centers will deliver crucial education, workforce development, and health and wellness resources for Rhode Islanders of all ages. We put this project into the pipeline 2 years ago. By the way, it takes a while to put things in the pipeline for them to come out. And I can tell you, we filled up this pipeline. And now we have plans in place for more than 80% of Rhode Islanders to live within 15 minutes of a community learning center. In East Providence, Mayor Bob DeSilva, I think he's in the audience tonight. Hi, Mayor. Town Council are building a new 8,500 square foot center to support education, job development, and wellness for all ages. Construction is set to begin this spring. Mayor, thank you for stepping up to deliver those resources for all the townies in your community. That's for you, Secretary Amare. We're not just building learning centers. We're building new schools. The state is in the midst of a historic investment in 21st century school facilities that will enhance learning across Rhode Island. Of the $5.2 billion being invested to build 50 new or improved schools across Rhode Island, the state is contributing more than half, nearly $3 billion, to support our municipalities and the local taxpayers in this effort. The budget I'll submit later this week will increase state aid to local education agencies by approximately $40 million and provide $2.5 million in grants to support our out-of-school learning opportunities for all our students in the state of Rhode Island. Our work in education extends beyond pre-K through 12. We're strengthening our state colleges and universities while also helping get adult learners back on track. And people at home, thank you for passing the bond that's going to put a life science building at URI and a cybersecurity building at Rhode Island College. In partnership with President Jack Warner, we extended the Hope Scholarship at Rhode Island College, making higher education more accessible and affordable. And it's working. Nearly 640 students have benefited from the Hope Scholarship, including Miguel, who is here with us tonight. Miguel is a junior double majoring in economics and global studies. He's a RIC ambassador, RA, class treasurer. Miguel has a lot on his plate. He qualified for the state's Hope Scholarship, and he says it's a game changer. Now, Miguel is set to graduate with a lot less debt. Let's give him and the Hope Scholarship Program and the General Assembly members who supported the Hope Scholarship Program a big round of applause. By the way, Miguel is from Cumberland. I didn't know that till tonight. Me, honest to God, I didn't know that today. By expanding another great program called Rhode Island Reconnect, our administration has helped over 3,100 Rhode Islanders return to school or get the job training they need. Stacy is one of those Rhode Islanders. Hi, Stacy. And she's here tonight with her daughter. Until last year, Stacy hadn't been back in school since 1999. She always wanted to finish her degree. But she had other things to think about, like paying the bills and getting her kids to school. But Stacy finally decided to enroll at CCRI and get involved with Rhode Island Reconnect. A navigator supported her through educational journey to ensure that this time she crossed the finish line and earns a degree. Stacy says Rhode Island Reconnect made her feel like she could accomplish her goals, and now she's well on her way to doing just that. I want to thank Commissioner Shannon Gilkey for bringing that program forward. It is going to help thousands and thousands of people reconnect. And we have tens of thousands of people in the state of Rhode Island who started their degrees that have not completed them, and this is a path to do it. As President John F. Kennedy reminded us, our progress as a nation can be no swifter than our progress in education. I believe the same is true for Rhode Island. We know that putting Rhode Islanders like Miguel and Stacy on a path to a better education increases their future earning power. This is especially important as one of our top 3 goals is to raise incomes for every family in Rhode Island. Raising incomes is our best defense against rising costs and our best offense for growing our economy. That's why just under a year ago, we launched an initiative called Rhode to Prosperity that seeks to raise incomes in Rhode Island households. My team and I traveled throughout the state and met with over 100 industry and labor leaders, and we heard firsthand about Rhode Island's workforce needs. That's why the budget I will submit next week will call for an investment to create 1,000 new work-based learning opportunities in Rhode Island. And it will call for an enhancement of Real Jobs Rhode Island to train an additional 500 Rhode Islanders. I'll direct funds to protect crucial high school dual enrollment programs where high school students earn transferable college credits that give them a head start both academically and financially. I'll also propose an innovative career technical education program at CCRI called Ready to Build. Ready to Build will create a pre-apprenticeship pathway to jobs in the building trades. Dan Bianco from LIUNA is here in the gallery tonight. Hi, Dan. And he'll tell you firsthand that building pre-apprenticeship capacity is essential to raising incomes for so many Rhode Islanders. Together, we're going to continue putting people to work at good-paying jobs on projects that will pay dividends for decades to come. Dan, you can count on that. Dan, I look forward to working with you, DLT, and CCRI to make Ready to Build a reality. Thank you, Dan. In addition to improving educational outcomes and raising incomes, one of our top 3 goals is to build a healthier Rhode Island. Now, before I continue, I want to talk about some recent news. As many of you know, Prospect, the company that owns Our Lady of Fatima Hospital and Roger Williams Medical Center, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy over the weekend. We are in conversations with Prospect and the Saturian Foundation, the nonprofit looking to buy the hospitals. It is our hope that Prospect is able to carve out their Rhode Island facilities from their restructuring plans and get this deal done. We want Rhode Islanders to know that we are committed to ensuring that the hospitals get new ownership. In the meantime, Prospect does not anticipate any interruption to patient services or care at their facilities, and that's reassuring news. Together, we've laid a strong foundation of health and wellness initiatives over the last 4 years. In October, we launched a network of 8 certified community behavioral health clinics. This healthcare model increases access to services regardless of a patient's ability to pay. This represents a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to improve health outcomes and change our state's behavioral health system. This past fall, Education Commissioner Infante Green and I announced a new partnership with Hazel Health to expand access to comprehensive virtual mental health services for our students. Rhode Island is the first state on the East Coast to launch a statewide telehealth initiative like this. To date, we've engaged 29 school districts in this important work. And in the next few weeks, we expect to have expanded mental health supports for nearly 70,000 students statewide. Later this week, the budget I'll submit will continue addressing the national shortage of primary care doctors, including pediatricians, that is impacting Rhode Island. I'll propose a strategic investment to provide further student loan forgiveness for primary care physicians who commit to staying and working in our state. And in this budget, I will once again propose that the Office of Health Insurance Commissioner include primary care providers in the rate review process. This is an important step in creating a competitive primary care job market here in Rhode Island. And I'm asking the General Assembly to partner in with my administration to get it done. General, you haven't left yet. It hasn't been an hour yet. So we got to keep this thing going. Kathy Schultz, the first executive director of my overdose task force, is here tonight. A former outreach worker, certified peer recovery specialist, and statewide Narcan trainer, Kathy has dedicated her life to this work. And like Kathy, I know that even one life lost to an opioid overdose is one too many. Our hearts break for each and every person who has lost a loved one to this epidemic. We owe it to Rhode Islanders to do everything possible to prevent additional overdose deaths. And when it comes to that commitment, Rhode Island again is moving in the right direction. For the first time in 5 years, Rhode Island saw a decrease in overdose deaths, a decrease of over 7% in 2023. And in the first half of 2024, we saw an 11% decrease compared to the first 6 months of the prior year. I want to take a moment to thank, from the bottom of my heart, the community partners, healthcare workers, and counselors who do this important work every single day. Thanks to their partnership, we're making strides in reducing overdose deaths with a whole-of-government approach that employs strategies like opening the nation's first state-authorized harm reduction center that will also provide on-site recovery services, increasing investments in our behavioral health workforce. Serving Rhode Island's homeless population and reducing the root causes of homelessness are critical efforts. And we need everyone to pull up a chair and participate. The state, our cities and towns, nonprofit providers, and faith-based organizations all across 39 cities and towns. And I want Rhode Island to know there are so many good people doing this work. A few of them are here with us tonight. Michelle from Crossroads is here in the gallery. Yesterday, where's Michelle? Michelle's up here somewhere. Michelle, thank you. President of Crossroads. Yesterday, I was with Michelle to see the progress at 94 Summer Street, which will be the site of 176 permanent supportive apartments for formerly homeless Rhode Islanders later this year. As I said before, we are filling the pipeline, and things are coming out that are going to help achieve our 2030 goals. Crossroads and your leadership, thank you so much. House of Hope is a state's partner on the Pallet Shelter Pilot Program. Last week, I was on site with Laura and the general contractor discussing the remaining steps of getting these units open, which will add 45 shelter beds to the state's system year-round. Stacy shared with me, Stacy, you up there? Yeah. Shared with me her vision for that pilot program. I support that vision, and I'm going to do everything we can to make sure that that gets expedited so those pallet shelters are open as soon as possible. Because, like you, I've been frustrated with the length of time it has taken to get the village operational. But we are going to get this project over the finish line without compromising on safety. We're also joined today by Russ from Warm Center in Westerly. Russ is up there as well. Thank you, Russ. Cold snap hits, the Warm Center expands its capacity, serving as a pop-up hub in the partnership with the state. This year, we're approaching 1,300 shelter beds financed by the state. This is a 60% increase from the start of my administration, which is encouraging, especially since there are additional beds run by churches and local nonprofits that we do not finance. Our Department of Housing will be launching a public dashboard. I like the dashboards. A public dashboard to track the number of available shelter beds across the state on a nightly basis. That utilization information will help us make smart decisions about funding in the future. By the way, it was the Speaker's idea. Thank you, Speaker. It's important because the pandemic-era funding that allowed us, our administration, to invest over $75 million into this area is ending. Everyone in this room knows that the state needs a reoccurring funding stream for homelessness. In my budget proposal last year, I tried to get ahead of this problem, but the solution I put forth was not passed. So just as I did last year, I will once again propose a dedicated funding stream for homelessness in my budget. And I'll be proposing a second recurring funding stream to directly support this work. Together, these two funding streams will bring an additional $4.4 million in fiscal year 26 and $8 million in fiscal year 27. I'm asking the General Assembly to work with my administration to get these two crucial measures passed. Together, I know we can address this issue. Rhode Island is finally making progress on a housing crisis that has been mounting in our state for decades. Since 2021, we've worked with the General Assembly to make historic investments to boost housing production. Nearly 6,500 units have been completed, preserved, or in the pipeline, thanks to the support of the state programs and the federal resources. This number represents just one piece of the housing production activity happening in Rhode Island. A few months ago, I was in Portsmouth, attending a groundbreaking for a 54-unit affordable housing development for residents age 55 and up. The town of Portsmouth provided the land for this project at no cost to the developer through a 99-year lease. This strategic partnership helps significantly lower costs. I want to recognize Portsmouth's town administrator, Richard Rayner, and developer Christian Belden from the Church Community Housing Corporation, both of whom are here tonight, for this innovative partnership that the state was proud to invest in. Now, just imagine if all 39 cities and towns found land to do the same thing and replicate what's happening in Portsmouth. In Pawtucket, another innovative development is underway. Mayor Grebian is here tonight, along with Lee Pizer, the developer behind Dexter Street Commons. Dexter Street Commons will be a mixed-use development in Pawtucket that will deliver 150 energy-efficient housing units and over 6,000 square feet of vibrant commercial space, all within walking distance of our new commuter rail station and bus hub. Like never before, housing is being built in every corner of our state. Thanks to the voters for passing our historic $120 million bond last year, we're not taking our foot off the pedal. And with $20 million of that dedicated to home ownership, we'll continue to invest in housing to help families across Rhode Island build generational wealth. Because we know that, on average, the median homeowner has a net worth of around $400,000, compared to just $10,000 for the median renter. That's why homeownership is still the American dream. We want to make that dream reachable for more Rhode Islanders, with a focus on first-time homeownership. There's no question that housing is directly linked to economic well-being. Rhode Island is also beginning to flip the script on the strength of our economy. After years of being underdog, our state is now becoming a place of innovation and opportunity. We're attracting and fostering the expansion of companies and emerging industries like the blue economy, life science, and artificial intelligence. And I can tell you that in our discussion with Hasbro, they understand that we are making this progress. Located in Quonset, Regent Craft, for example, is one of those examples. Billy's here with us tonight. Located in Quonset, Regent manufactures all-electric passenger vehicles that glide above the ocean, a new approach to coastal transportation. Billy, the company's founder, who you just met, is here tonight, and he has a great story to tell. When I first learned about Regent, I did a little research into why they wanted to make Rhode Island their home. I'm going to borrow their words for this one. They said, "The state offers best in maritime composite expertise and access to top talent. Rhode Island has the potential to become an epicenter of the blue economy." Billy, I couldn't say it better myself. Thank you. And in 2024, Regent announced that they're expanding their manufacturing right here in Rhode Island, creating over 300 jobs. Dan, we're putting people to work. J-O-B-S. J-O-B-S. Jobs. And Regent isn't the only actor to tell. Joe Brito is here tonight. Joe is a lifelong Bristol resident who took on the major task of transforming a rundown, abandoned mill into an economic driver for his community. Thanks, Joe. Working with Rhode Island Commerce and Bristol Town Administrator Steve Contente, Unity Park is now a vibrant community space that has restaurants, shops, and a growing hub for the blue economy businesses. An $8.9 million project will soon transform 45,000 square feet at Unity Park into manufacturing office and warehouse space specifically to support the growth of blue economy companies. I like Joe's story. It reminds me of mine, because it reminds me of all the people who take great pride in our state, overcome adversities, and just keep on moving forward. And they do everything they can to make our state better. The cornerstone of tenant of the new Blue Economy Hub at Unity Park will be Saab, a company in Cranston that manufactures self-driving undersea vehicles. Saab recently announced their expansion, which will create nearly 50 new jobs with competitive salaries in Bristol. Eric, the president and CEO of Saab, is here with us tonight. Eric is a Roger Williams grad And I want to thank Eric and Joe for their commitment to the state of Rhode Island. These are just some of the stories, and I don't want to keep general any more than the hour, so I won't go into all those details. But it's a commitment to fostering innovation and creating good-paying jobs. Rhode Island is also positioning ourselves as a national leader in life sciences. Thanks to the progress of our Rhode Island Life Science Hub, a project we put into the pipeline about 2 years ago is becoming a reality. Again, I thank the President, the Speaker, the President for their support on this issue. Our Life Science Hub just celebrated a major success story when it finalized an historic agreement to launch Ocean State Labs, a cutting-edge biotech incubator. Ocean State Labs will be one of the tenants in our new 200,000 square foot life science complex, along with Brown University and our new state health lab, which will be opened up in 2025. Again, fill in the pipeline, and things are coming out of the pipeline. I think you're getting the message. And we need to keep on filling that pipeline. Ocean State Labs and all the work happening at our Life Science Hub will spark innovation, promote economic growth, and build on Rhode Island's progress in this emerging sector. You'll never hear me talk about Rhode Island's economy without talking about our airport. It's ranked as one of the very best in the world. This past year, Rhode Island T.F. Green International Airport had its own significant success story. Breeze Airways announced a big expansion in our state. Making it the first hub in airport history and the largest base of operation, and their largest base of operations in the country. They'll be growing to 35 routes, creating 400 jobs, and supporting nearly 1 million passengers every year. Rhode Island is also proud of the progress we're being made through our signature Minority Business Accelerator program. I don't think it's any secret to anybody who's listening or in the audience that I'm a small business guy, and there's a way to make. We've supported over 1,000 businesses with accounting and bookkeeping, marketing, communications, IT, and legal services. In short, we've certified more than 50 new minority and women-owned businesses to qualify for state contracts, and we're distributing $2 million in direct grants to further support these local businesses. Earlier, I mentioned our Rhode Island 2030 plan and all the projects we've put into the pipeline over the last 4 years to propel our state into the next decade. One of those projects is Road Restore, our state's first program dedicated to helping cities and towns repair and repave local roads. As governor, I'm tired of hearing the rankings on our roads and let's do something about it. As a former mayor, I know all too well that 80% of the roads in our state are maintained not at the state level, but at the local level. Yet for far too long, cities and towns lack the resources to maintain them. 2 years ago, we flipped the script on that. Through Road Restore, my administration and this General Assembly have supported 1,000 projects locally, improving 673 lane miles of road and 25 miles of sidewalks. And with municipalities matching every $1 the state invests in this program with $2 of their own, we've created a collaborative approach to improving local infrastructure that has resulted in over $100 million of local upgrades so far. $100 million. As a mayor, I can tell you that has never happened collectively in the state of Rhode Island. Right now, you can go online to Road Restore dashboard, if you're listening, to see this work happening in your community. In Woonsocket, Mayor Bosch, in Warwick, Mayor Picozzi completely repaved Jefferson Boulevard, the city's longest local road. And in East Greenwich, Town Manager Annie Nada repaved the well-traveled Middle Road. Each year, yes, I'd be here all night to give you the 1,000 projects, but you can go online to see what's happening in your community. Each year, this program has resulted in critical road improvements across every city and town, all 39 in the state of Rhode Island. Now, let's protect that progress. The budget I'll submit this week will continue Road Restore next year and provide a sustainable funding source to make this program permanent. While we're talking about, to talk about the bridge, the Washington Bridge. As governor, I inherited a bridge that was in the midst of being repaired, even though it turned out that it was not repairable. And that's frustrating for everybody in this chamber and everybody listening at home. Since March 14th, when I determined the bridge must be rebuilt, we've made progress towards ensuring Rhode Islanders will have a new bridge that has a state-of-the-art design and improved traffic flow and keeping everybody safe, which is our top priority. And we will build a bridge that outlasts our lifetimes. There's a lot of news happening on that front. We've worked with our congressional delegation to secure over $220 million in a competitive grant process. Demolition on the old bridge superstructure is on track and nearing 75% completion. Two nationally renowned construction companies are competing for the contract to rebuild the bridge. And we've initiated a lawsuit to pursue accountability on behalf of Rhode Island taxpayers. Now, there have certainly been challenges along the way. And I want to thank Rhode Islanders for their patience and resilience as we work through those challenges. But today I can say with confidence that we are on the right path to deliver a new bridge for our state. And there's some more good news on infrastructure news from all corners of the state. Last year, the Department of Transportation secured a $251 million federal grant to take on the largest bridge project in Rhode Island history. These 15 bridges run between Providence and Warwick on I-95, a critical corridor that carries nearly 185,000 vehicles daily. We repaved Route 295 for the first time in 20 years. We did major repaving work on Route 4 and Route 2. We will begin soon building ramps between I-95 and Route 4 to create direct freeway access to better serve the Quonset Business Park. Again, thanks to our congressional delegation. Thank them when you see the senators and the reps, when you see them on the street. The public, the people I'm talking to tonight, thank them. And as a result of this work, Rhode Island has advanced 12 spots in the national infrastructure ranking last year. That's progress. And if we continue to be committed to this work with courageous and patience, progress will accelerate. And speaking of flipping the script, I think we all remember hearing the story how professional soccer would never work in Rhode Island. No one cares about soccer. That's what they said. It will never be a success, they said. Well, we're making professional soccer work in Rhode Island. In fact, it's all that. Tonight, we're joined by Rhode Island Football Club coach Kano Smith, who led the team to win an Eastern Conference championship. They are the only team in league history to ever make it to the championship in their first season. That's a big deal. Coach, where's the coach? Oh, you're supposed to be over there. Stand up. Coach, I can tell you, it was really powerful to see Rhode Island play in a game that was nationally televised. Thank you for making us so proud. Tidewater Stadium is a project that we put into the pipeline over 2 years ago. Now the seats are installed, the turf has been laid, and we're gearing up for the first game at the new stadium on May 3rd. I hope to see everyone there to support Rhode Island's team. Thank you, Coach. I wanted the coach here tonight. He was out recruiting, and he actually came off the recruiting trail. So you get back on that tomorrow, Coach. Rhode Island Football Club and Tidewater are about more than sports. They are about investing in the city of Pawtucket, building community and sparkling economic activity in a city with unlimited potential. Mayor Grebian, thank you for your leadership. And that's, yes, give him a round of applause. Now you're going too fast. Now I'm going to have to kind of wing this one a little bit. Okay. We had some other big sports wins last year. University of Rhode Island football coach Jim Fleming is here tonight. If you are an alumni, a URI alumni, 60,000 strong, you got to be very proud of the Rams this year. Coach Fleming led the Rams to the most wins in a single season in the history of URI football. And they made the playoffs for the first time since 1985. Thank you, Coach. And by the way, it's pretty great that URI, our flagship state university, was ranked the best in New England by the Wall Street Journal. A big shout out to President Mark Palange and the URI board for driving that progress. And we'll keep this coaches theme going because they do bring a lot of pride to our communities. I know that because I'm very proud of the work that's done in our communities on our youth programs, and I know many of you have the same experience in your community. Well, we have members of the Cranston Weston Little League softball team here tonight who represented here in North Carolina. The coach is here tonight with a couple of his players who just stood up, but stand up again. Mayor Hopkins. Pride in Cranston about this team. There's a lot of pride in the people who live in the city because of this team. So congratulations. Yes. And the people across the Rhode Island, mayor and coach, they feel the same sense of pride. Also in the house tonight, the First Lady and our daughter. Hi, Susan. Hi, Kara. I keep on bringing them in. I'm happy to do it. As a former reading teacher and someone who has a lot of pride in our beautiful state, Susan has made litter and literacy her top priorities as First Lady. Through her signature initiative, Litter-Free Rhode Island, nearly 1 million gallons of litter have been removed from our state roads since 2024. Thanks to the dedicated team. Thanks to the dedicated team at Department of Transportation. They're in the rafters tonight. Tonight, we're joined in the gallery by a couple members of that team. Kevin and Heidi, they're part of our enhanced groundskeeping crew. Stand up, stand up. Thank you. I brought that whole crew into the stateroom a few months ago to thank them over a lunch, and the people of the state of Rhode Island should be very proud of the work that they're doing. So when you go by them, give them a nice little honk of appreciation, please. You can track the crew's progress on our official online trash board that shows how much litter we've taken off the streets since across our state. These local cleanups are done entirely by volunteers and have resulted in an additional 6,600 bags of litter that was picked up. Now, the idea of this plan is to have less and less litter out on our streets and deliver more and more color, and we're handing out actually seeds for our state flower, the purple violet. Let's replace the litter with color in our landscape. Help us out. Visit litterfreerhodeisland.ri.gov. Litter Rhode Island Pledge. I want to close on a very important topic. With nearly 50,000 lives lost to gun violence in America every year, gun safety is a crucial public health issue impacting every single state. Over the last 4 years, Rhode Island made important progress in addressing this issue head-on. We're grateful for the partnership of organizations like Moms Demand Action, the Rhode Island Coalition Against Gun Violence, and Everytown. Some of that leadership is in the gallery with us here tonight. Together, the gun safety champions in the General Assembly have helped us pass safe storage laws that prohibited open carry of rifles and shotguns. That's real progress, but it's not enough. Year after year, I've stood here and asked the General Assembly to send an assault weapons ban to my desk. This year, I'm sending you a budget to the General Assembly for the first time. Will include a ban on assault weapons. Let's finally get this done. Rhode Island is a team with a story to tell. Everyone in this room, everyone watching at home, and even your neighbors who aren't watching, you're part of this story. Tonight, I'm asking everyone who loves our state, who shares a deep sense of pride in Rhode Island, to pull up a chair and work with me to help accelerate the progress we've made in the last 4 years. If you do, I know that the chapter we're writing together today will be Rhode Island's best one yet. Let's get to work. Thank you. God bless Rhode Island. God bless the United States.
Governor McKee and the First Lady from the chamber.
evening, Rhode Island. I'm Jessica Dela Cruz, and I have the honor of serving as the State Senate Republican leader. More importantly, I'm blessed to be the mother of 3 boys who are the reason I ran for office, to make Rhode Island a place where they will want to raise their own families. Like you, I just heard Governor McKee do his best to paint an optimistic picture of the health of our state. But one thing was abundantly clear. Despite the governor's best of intentions, some of the outcomes under his administration have been abject failures. Unfortunately, the state of our state under Governor McKee has been deeply troubled. In just over a year, many long-neglected and avoidable problems have led to critical failures. The Washington Bridge catastrophically failed, adding hours to already miserable traffic jams. And while the gridlock is bad, even worse is the closing of small businesses whose owners have sacrificed weekends, vacations, and holidays to keep the doors open during hard times. Rhode Island's hospitality industry lost $114 million in revenue and 1,300 jobs because of the bridge failure. This was avoidable, but how many of those vital businesses are closed forever because of the negligence of our government? Weeks ago, hackers stole Social Security numbers and other personal information from Rhode Island's IT system used for public benefits. This program went massively over budget, with computer errors denying families their health benefits, and has been burdened by crashes, glitches, and lawsuits. And now, over 700,000 people in our state have had their entire lives for sale on the dark web. To add insult to injury, Deloitte, the exact company that was paid hundreds of millions of dollars to build this failed IT system, is now managing its own data breach. That's an insult to the taxpayers checking their credit score every morning because the governor failed to have the necessary cybersecurity measures in place. We should expect our government to do a good job the first time, but at the very least, our tax dollars should never reward failure. Although the governor has yet to release his fiscal 2026 budget proposal, he has already signaled his plans to incorporate the assault weapons ban, a move that is completely out of place in a budget. If the governor wants to push gun control, perhaps legislation is crafted and debated by the General Assembly, by senators and representatives, not hidden in the state's budget. He should either run for legislative office or collaborate with lawmakers rather than sidestepping the legislative process and using the budget as a tool for activism. To make matters worse, mismanagement of critical systems highlights the deeper issues plaguing our state. The reckless overspending of taxpayer dollars and the poor management of the money we do spend. Ask yourself, have the billions of dollars paid by you, your family, and your neighbors been used wisely and efficiently? Consider housing. A report by the Rhode Island Public Expenditure Council, RIPEC, found that we spent $273 million to produce just 1,600 new affordable housing units, with subsidies exceeding $160,000 per unit. That is not an efficient use of taxpayer dollars. And education is no better. Rhode Island spends among the highest per pupil in the nation, yet only 30% of our students are proficient in English and math. That means 70% of children in our state cannot meet basic academic standards. And our infrastructure? U.S. News & World Report ranks Rhode Island 47 for bridges, 49 for roads, and dead last for transportation. But ask anyone who's driven in our state, especially across the Washington Bridge, and they would argue that those scores are better than we deserve. These rankings confirm what Rhode Islanders experience every day. Our state is failing to deliver on the basics. But imagine for a moment a different Rhode Island, a state where tax dollars are spent wisely, one that maintains bridges so they don't fail, and sensitive personal information is safeguarded. A proactive government that clears the way to open shelter doors for those in crisis. A government that overcomes climate hysteria and works to lower the cost of electric and heating bills through more sensible energy policies. And I see a state government that focuses on what our families and children need most: good teachers and providing safe and effective schools. When I think about the state of our state, I imagine what it can be, a government committed to accountability and affordability. How do we make Rhode Island the state we all envision? It starts with effectiveness, efficiency, and accountability. We need an independent office of Inspector General. With 70% of Rhode Islanders in support, this bipartisan solution is not a new idea. It would provide independent oversight, ensuring accountability and efficiency in state government. It would investigate, detect, and prevent fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement of public funds. This is a common sense, overdue solution we can act on right now. RIPEC's report stated it best. Rhode Island does not have a revenue problem. It has a spending problem. In order to get Rhode Island back on the right track, we need to address our spending, how it's grown wildly from $9.9 billion to $14 billion over the last 5 years. With a projected $330 million structural deficit, desperate times call for bold action. I'm calling on the governor's administration to thoroughly evaluate each department's budget and identify areas where spending can be reduced, aiming for significant cuts where feasible. While I understand that not every department can manage a 10% reduction, we must prioritize cutting waste and inefficiencies across the board. Just as families must reassess their budgets and make tough choices, our state government must do the same. If we fail to act now, this deficit could grow to $680 million per year by 2030. And for a state our size, that level of overspending is simply unacceptable. Our state budget is bloated, and it needs to be put on a diet. But this fiscal diet will bring about a healthier, more efficient, and stronger state government. Getting Rhode Island's fiscal house in order can mean job creation and enhanced economic competitiveness. Companies like to locate and expand in states that have good schools, make the most productive and innovative use of their resources, provide a competitive tax environment, and most critically, have a stable fiscal environment. The honest state of our state is bleak, but our state motto is hope. And I hope that our governor and state leaders will see that Rhode Island is at a critical crossroads to determine the overall health of our state for decades to come. My hope is that they will make the right decision and that we are patient through the tough road ahead. I'd like to conclude my comments tonight by remembering Jimmy Carter. While I don't agree with his policies, President Carter showed us all how to lead a life of public service while giving thanks to a caring and almighty God. May his example inspire us to get back to our own communities in ways big and small. Thank you. May God bless you. May God bless Rhode Island and the United States of America.